this is difficult for you, Ianniello. You've been carrying the water for both of these programs. There's probably a little more love on the personnel side with Western Kentucky and Bailey Zappi, but these teams already played earlier this season, a 52-46 shootout in which UTSA was on the better side of that matchup. But what's interesting here is that Frank Harris is banged up. Sincere McCormick has been kind of embroiled in a bit of a slump leading up to this. They haven't been looking as dominant. They were lucky to get by UAB. They ended up getting beat up by North Texas, one of the most shocking G5 outcomes of the entire season. And because of that, you actually have Western Kentucky as the favorite here in the rematch. So where do you come down on the Conference USA title game?
Yeah, I know I already used the Sophie's Choice analogy a couple of weeks ago, but I got to go back to it. This is another one that's so tough for us. We love both of these teams. And I got a few chirps on Twitter. How could you pick against your beloved Roadrunners when I took UTEP? And that obviously didn't work. Look, I love UTSA. I absolutely adore this team. But I have to take Western Kentucky here. They are absolutely humming right now, and I would be a fool not to. I'm taking Western Kentucky -1.5 here. And full disclosure, this is a win-win for me, which is what you want. I'm winning either way because I bet UTSA plus 350 to win the conference before the season. So you can call me, a wimp or whatever you want for hedging my bet, but I'm hedging it because I want to win-win because I love these teams so much that I want to be happy either way. Sue me. So I'm taking Western Kentucky here. But if I didn't have the future, I'd still bet Western Kentucky because, yes, you just mentioned UTSA lost their undefeated season. They got smoked by North Texas. And yeah, Frank Harris did get hurt, but they were down pretty big before Harris left the game. So I don't think Harris was making a difference in that one. Western Kentucky finished the year winning 7 straight games. Last week they went down 14. Funny story. I was in Connecticut and set my dad up now that it's legal there. Set my dad up with DraftKings and I bullied him into basically making Western Kentucky's his first, legal bet on mobile app. And then Marshall immediately goes up 14-0 and he's giving me the side eye. What does Western Kentucky do after that? They outscore him 53-7. Just an absolute beatdown of Marshall, who has statistically been, basically one of the best teams in Conference USA historically. So like we mentioned with Kitley, they finished second in conference in scoring, second in total offense. They're first in success rate. Zappy Hour, our boy, we love him. The Zap God, 414 yards per game, 52 touchdowns. Fun fact, Zappy has 52 touchdowns right now through the regular season, which obviously led the country. He has averaged 4.3 touchdowns per game. He has 2 games left. If he throws 4 touchdowns in each of those 2 games, which he has done in 4 of the last 5 games, he'll tie Joe Burrow for the most in college football history. He only needs 6 touchdowns to tie our G5 lifetime god, Colt Brennan. So Bailey Zappi is having a historical season that we have never seen in college football before, and he has a chance to go down as the all-time leading touchdowns in college football history. And I'm not going to bet against that. Western Kentucky's, their last loss was to UTSA. Like you said, that game, the 52-46 shootout, Zappi threw for 523 yards and 5 touchdowns. And yes, Frank Harris was able to match him. He had 349 yards, 6 touchdowns. But you said Harris is banged up. And the biggest area this UTA struggles is defending the pass. Zappi torched them. We just said that. They rank 62 in the country in pass success, 66th at defending the big play, 99th in coverage grade. Jared Stearns had 16 catches, 195 yards, and 2 touchdowns against this meep secondary. And everything's changed for Western Kentucky since that loss. Since that game, they're allowing just 19 yards per game. They have not allowed more than 21 points in 7 games since that loss. They have forced 22 turnovers and allowed just 16 touchdowns over that stretch. So I don't know if you're a wrestling fan, but, at WrestleMania 24, when Shawn Michaels says, "I'm sorry, I love you," before he hit Ric Flair with the sweet chin music to send him into retirement, that's what I'm doing to UTSA. I'm sorry, I love you. Give me the Hilltoppers.
I love it. I think it's the right play. I think also this line that's been set by odds makers is sending a message that there is real concern about this UTSA offense, both with the injury to Frank Harris and also just the ineffective play on the ground, which is a little bit surprising because really coming into this year, it was Sincere McCormick and then a bunch of parts thrown together. He was the focal point of the entire offense. So the fact that he is not crushing teams on the ground, I think does make this difficult to envision them keeping up in what should be a shootout.